tuned for the Joan Quinn Profiles. As an editor for Andy Warhol's Interview, the Los Angeles Herald-Examiner, LA Style, and Detour magazines, Joan covered the social set, the Hollywood hotshots, the international art scene, the mysteries of food, the excitement of travel, and the fabulous world of fashion. Joan continues to find creative people on the cutting edge who make things happen. Here's Joan Agajanian Quinn.
Hi, I'm Joan Quinn, and welcome to the Joan Quinn Profiles. Waiting to be profiled is Marat Daukayev and artist, author Marcie Begleiter. Marcie's art is on the set today. Former principal dancer of the Kirov Ballet in St. Petersburg, Marat Daukayev trained at the Vaganova and Perm Ballet schools. Marat became a top teacher with the Perm Ballet, top dancer. I think he also taught there, but he became a top dancer. And with them in 1972 won a bronze medal at the international competition in Varna. And I have some pictures from that competition. Tell us just a little bit about what we have on this.
No, I was student Perm Ballet school, and it's last year I was student Perm Ballet school, and my teacher prepared me for a competition. I was very happy because we worked together with Volodya Vasilyev and Maximova and Galina Ulanova help for us. And we had short training in Moscow in Bolshoi Theater, and for me it's a big experience. I was very happy.
That must have been at that point in your life the highlight of what was happening. Where did you go from there? Where could you go from there that was going to be better?
Yes. Perm, Moscow is very far away, you know, and for me, dance in Moscow, it's I was very big enjoy, and not only in Moscow, but and then move in competition in Bulgaria. It's for me, for young boy, you know, it's good shock.
Big shock.
Big shock.
Then from there, you went to the Kirov.
From Perm, I was 2 years in Perm Ballet Company, principal dancer, and then Oleg Vinogradov invited in the Kirov Ballet. I worked in Kirov Ballet, and then how many? Almost 20 years.
Did you?
Yeah.
And were you leading dancing principal roles for that long?
Yes, for 20 years. 20 years I was principal dancer, and then the end I teach young dancers. I was teacher and coach.
When you were dancing with the Kirov, we're still in Russia. You're still in Russia. What was the most popular ballet that you danced?
Oh, it's an interesting question.
Popular with the people, not with you.
Popular, people love classical ballet. In St. Petersburg, people love classical ballet, and people very interesting, for them very interesting new ballet, contemporary. Yes, contemporary, and we was happy work together with Roland Petit. It's Notre Dame de Paris.
You did?
Yes.
So Roland Petit came to Russia?
In St. Petersburg, yes. Yes, he made performance, and it's new performance. It's not only classical ballet, it's neoclassical. And then I was happy to work with Maurice Béjart. It's when we was in Paris, it's 1982.
Did you go to Paris to work with Béjart, or did he also
come? No, we had tour in Paris, and Béjart showed for us one piece, 14 minutes piece, at opus number 5, Weber, and we danced with Olga Chenchikova, and Maurice Béjart worked with us, and he showed rehearsal, and I was very enjoyed because he is not only great choreographer, he is very great philosophy.
So you...
Yes, it's not only dance, it's more for heart, more for soul. He very smart, and I was very happy.
You were there so long. Do you remember and you did some choreography. Did you remember every role that everyone danced in a ballet? Did you have to know what the women were doing, what the men were doing?
Almost, yes. Yes, because something I forgot, but when the music start play, and body have memory too. It's not only my mind have memory, it's body start move, like, oh, I remember this, it's like this, arms, this. That's it.
See.
I remember
So
like full performance. Yes, in Kirov company I dance many classical ballet. I don't remember exactly, maybe like 30, 35 names ballet.
But you liked working with the contemporary, like with Béjart and with Roland Petit. But what classical ballet did you love to dance?
Sleeping Beauty. I love Sleeping Beauty because it's really classical and very clear. I like this style.
And was it because of the music, do you think, or was it just because of the choreography?
No, it's synthesis, like all together, like decoration, music, choreography, everything together. It's because many people like Diaghilev and company, they work together, like choreographer, painter, composer, Stravinsky, Fokin, Benoit.
You mean it all comes together?
Yes, yes. It's like when they, like many people, like friendly, make performance, and every time performance like better.
And you can feel it. Obviously, you felt that that was perfect, the perfect combination of all of those people.
Yes, it's very interesting and difficult to find the same moment. It's like I would like make two. Like performance and look for like a person who can make a good design, who can make like scenery and costumes, music. It's like light design on the stage, like, and everybody like work like one. It will be every time like good performance.
You came to the United States as one of the stars of the Kirov. In '96, they did a tour. Is that right?
1986.
Oh, 1986.
Yes, it's first time. And Kirov company was last time before 1986, 1964, like 22 years ago.
Well, was it new to you to come to the United States?
No, I was first time here in 1986.
That's what I mean.
Yes,
How was
I danced in Los Angeles too. In Shrine Auditorium, I danced Pajita and Swan Lake. I remember like many people, every performance sold out, and people was very happy. Of
course, that was before the fall of the Soviet Union.
Yes, yes, it's before when Reagan and Gorbachev
but you had to go back. Did you think you were ever going to come back to the United States?
No, I didn't think about it. I had like few years ago, it's like 6-7 years ago, I had choice stay in Kirov company like teacher and coach, and then move in Perm Ballet like artistic director.
But because you were very important to the country. Yes, you were.
Yes, and then I had like small contract for 6 months, like teacher and coach in Los Angeles, and I take this time like 6 months, and I would like work a little bit and thinking about future, what need to do, maybe stay in Kirov company, and then I need time like for rest. And I invite here my wife. She is now my wife, Pamela, and we have a little boy. 4.5 years old. We wait now twins. Very soon will be twins, and I'm very happy.
So you came here, you're here. But the interesting thing is that you didn't just dance once you got here. You wanted to start a company, a dance school.
Yes.
Or is it the same? A company is separate from a dance school.
No, I'm thinking about company because it's most important. Like company, I have good experience about it. All my life work in Kirov company, like dancer and like teacher and coach. I had experience about America. I work 1 year in Denver, like ballet master.
Yes.
And they have good ballet company and school, and then I come back in Los Angeles and start ballet school, because I'm thinking we have good foundation. As ballet school, it will be good foundation for ballet company.
Oh, I see. You start with the school because I guess you always need a school if you're going to get dancers for the company.
Yes, it's like I teach now girls. They like 9, 10, 11, 14 years old. and then they grow, and it will be good start for company.
Can you tell when they're 9, 10, 11 years old, when you start teaching them at your school in Mid-Wilshire, can you tell if they're going to be successful, or can you make them successful?
When I thinking about school, I believe it will be successful because somebody need belief. Somebody need to be strong.
For the school, yes.
It's
but what
school.
about your students? Can you look at them and say, oh, she's going to be a dancer?
Yes.
You can.
Yes, yes. But I know many students, they love dance, maybe they have no good body and they understand about itself, but they would like.
Yes.
And what I can, I help.
But do you think, would they be part of your future then? Or are they just going to be part of your
No, for
school?
somebody will be future. It's future will be, yes. And it's what most important question I explained for them about dance. Dance is not only movement, it's not only like a right position your arms and like a right position your legs, everything, like every movement do it very clear. It's most important question is like how you feeling about what you feeling about dance. It's your heart, it's your soul. As I would like a little bit open like this window for children and show big like ballet world. What I mean ballet world? It's big art. What do I mean art? Art, it's love.
Is your heart. Art is your heart.
Exactly.
But the thing also you have to teach, and I know you were teaching at the Lachine School when I was taking classes there, you teach drama with it as well.
Oh.
Isn't it true? They have to know how to move. Yes.
Yes, yes. It's like I showed like small piece like choreography about like mood, how they feeling, like happy, very enjoy, like very like.
Yes.
Like sad.
Exactly,
like,
but you have to teach that, I think, because you have to put those feelings into the music and into the body. And if you don't teach it in the body, they'll never know how it goes.
Yes, yes. And now like I have like 2 teachers who work in our school, and the school now almost like 1 year. We had like first summer program last July month, and in July month I'll teach. I showed for children who took summer program acting class.
Yes, see, that's
They
exactly.
love acting class. It's like they very interesting. They very enjoy, and they start understand like what happening about movement, about arm. How it's my arm. What you can make with your arm. It's like.
But I think also with you and your classical background in Russia, the music, you had to understand what the composer was writing.
Yes, yes.
Because I used to hear you say, listen to the music, it will tell you what to do.
Right. For ballet, first, it's very important. It's music, but how you feeling music, how you hear music. It's and then you can make combination.
But you also have to have the technique then, right?
Yes, yes, and like we need to teach about technique too, and how for many choreographer, good foundation music. For many choreographer, good foundation like picture. They look picture. I don't know, like Botticelli and Michelangelo. They're like, oh, I know. I would like to do it choreography. It's like start and then look for music. They found music and make something like I don't know, like what they feeling, like something beautiful.
Yeah. Well, I think you're going to make your students really beautiful. The students that will be working at the Daukayev Ballet School, is that right?
Yes.
And we'll watch as you continue with your performances in Los Angeles, and I hope you expand all over the world.
I would like about, I think in long time and no long time, how many years I live here, about company, how start company here. Many people try start company here, and John Clifford and David Wilcox, you know, like many
But you
people.
know what, I know, I've seen this all, and this could be another whole show that we can talk about.
Ah.
But it takes someone with dedication and with heart and it takes someone to understand people, and I think that you have it.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you. Don't
you.
go away. We'll be right back with Marcie Begleiter.
Thank you.
We're back, and I'm Joan Quinn, and I'm here with artist, author, educator, Marcie Begleiter, who lives in Los Angeles. She teaches at Art Center College of Design. She's taught a class at the American Film Institute and at the new International Film School in Cologne, Germany. How did you start your career? Not in this teaching, but in art, because we have your work on the set, Marcie.
I'd say that the first time where I made a real commitment to the work as an adult was leaving New York City and moving to Taos, New Mexico years ago. And that may be surprising to some people because they think of New York as being the place.
I was going to say, didn't you do it in New York?
Well, in New York I was actually working as a theatrical designer.
Oh, so you had this feeling. You've always had this feeling.
Yeah, I've always sort of had one foot in both worlds. One foot in the world of performance and one foot in the world of visual art. And so in New York it was theater and painting, and then Los Angeles it's ended up being film and painting.
When you first started doing the artwork, did you show in galleries? I mean, were you career artist?
Absolutely. I was showing in galleries in New Mexico.
Oh, you were?
And in Taos in particular, because I lived there, and I was doing a lot of work which was based on the landscape and based on figure.
Oh, so it takes us into the next step. But I can see where the background comes from, because you've written a book called From Word to Image, which is about storyboarding. But I wanted to really get into a little bit more of the background and a little explanation of the work that's on the set today.
Sure.
The beautiful, that compliments me so well, Periwinkle Blue.
These two paintings are from a series called Acquired Memory. And they are a combination of imagery and techniques. You'll see in both of them they are figurative pieces. Both of them have figures as part of the layering of imagery. And the figures themselves come from an archive of photographs that were given to me years ago by the photographer's wife. The archive of photographs was from a small town in what used to be Poland called Volkowisk.
Oh.
And they're from the mid-30s. And my family, who came out of Europe in the early 1900s, brought very, very little with them, especially no photographs. And I kind of have adopted, the acquired memory is adopting the images of these people and kind of using them to work through ideas about home, family. The layers in this are a combination of maps, a doubled portrait of a pregnant woman, over there, a smoking man, and also you'll notice in all of them they're kind of layers that you can partly see through and partly can't see through.
It's interesting because it's so much like a film. They remind me of layers of film, and how when you're editing and you get different things together, this looks like depth, but depth that you've created, not painted on there.
Yes.
That you've created with different layers. In New York, you were doing sets. Is that what you said? Set design?
Theatrical.
For small theaters?
Off-Broadway and regional.
And did you do the whole thing? When you went to school, did you take set design or did you take art? You didn't
All
take
of it.
art. Oh, you did?
All of it.
Where'd you go?
My undergraduate degree is from a small college in upstate New York, Kirkland, which is now actually known as Hamilton. And my master's degree is from Art Center, an MFA in painting.
Oh, it is. So you're right there, moving from art into words. Because what happened is you've given a lot of workshops and you've done a lot of seminars on how to get the words, either on a canvas or on film.
It's about the translation. And the book came out of both the experience of working in film as a storyboard artist and as an art director and working with directors, and then later on teaching writer-directors how to explore their story ideas in images.
So what you've done is you've taught somebody how to storyboard, whatever that is. What is that?
Okay, well, what I teach is storyboarding plus.
Yes, that's
Okay.
what I saw when I read this book.
Exactly. So it's a whole collection of techniques of visualization. So storyboarding, which is the making of an image which corresponds to a particular scale and angle and camera movement that the director would want to use to tell a particular part of the story. But in addition to that, I also go through creating an overhead diagram with camera positions. So that is a diagrammatic relationship of the camera to the set, as well as doing a very rigorously visual shot list. And the
Which
shot
is editorial.
The shot list is both editorial as well as a verbal description of what's going to happen during that shot.
So each picture that you make of what's going to happen in a shot has the verbal, has the shots from the camera angles, has the way the person moves,
And the overhead.
and the overhead.
Right.
Now, one thing that I saw in the book, when I was reading, is you talk about keyframes. And what is that?
A keyframe would be where you take a sequence.
So we've
And you
gone for this
choose-
one piece, now we're going to a sequence.
Right, if you think of that the storyboard as being an entire editorial sequence, the keyframe would be one or two images in that sequence that best capture the action
see.
and the emotion.
It's really like an English class, picking out,
Right.
isn't it? It is, it's like
How
picking
so?
out why? Because you're picking out the key sentence in a paragraph.
Oh,
Or
interesting.
you're picking out
That's
something
right.
that really sets off that chapter.
Bingo. Yeah, I hadn't thought of it that way.
No, but when you said that,
that's-
because you talk about, that you do illustrate, the production illustration, then you do the commercial part of,
This is all for different projects. Different projects
all call for
need-
these different things.
Exactly. Depending on who your audience is and what the purpose of the image is. Some places, directors just want to have these sort of private drawings almost. They just sort of do them for themselves.
So, and then you have this list that I thought was great of like dialogues and different things like scale.
Okay, that's
And yeah, things like
the
that.
scale, angle, camera movement, character movement, and a script notation. So it's sort of, those are the 5 basic elements of a shot list. If you can describe those 5 things, have them in a shot list, have them in a pre-production document, you're going to have much fewer people coming and asking you questions later on. If you can sit down and as part of your preparation, answer those questions.
Well, what's the scale then?
This is the scale. Okay, scale is how the frame cuts what it's looking at.
Okay.
How the frame crops the
And you
world.
draw that on your storyboard.
Well, the scale, what we draw on the storyboard is we start with an aspect ratio. We start with a blank, right, rectangle, depending on, whether it's a squat rectangle for video or if it's a longer rectangle for feature films, projection. What you fill in there, whether or not it's a close-up or a medium shot or a long shot or a wide shot, that's the scale of the shot.
Okay. Now the next thing is
The angle.
The angle, right.
All right. So that's going to be the relationship of the camera to what the camera's looking at. So the camera could be high or low or sideways.
But who are you working with? Who brings you in?
Usually,
The director, the producer? More?
usually, yeah, both of them, and sometimes they fight about it. Usually the director. It's usually the director, and that's usually who you are working with. As a storyboard artist, it's usually that kind of one-on-one relationship.
And
it could be everything from the director giving you basically dictation to the director handing over a script and saying, look at scenes 24 to 36 and come back in a couple of days.
And tell me how you see them?
Yeah.
Is that what you're supposed to do?
No, it's all up to the director. The director sets the ground rules.
Do you get credit on the end roll? Do you get credit anywhere? I haven't seen storyboard credit.
Next time,
Okay.
you have to sit. It's usually not at the top of the crawl. It's usually somewhere down lower. But it'll say either production illustrator, illustrator, storyboard artist. It's there. It's not in every film, but it's there for many.
They're all, I mean, all those titles refer to the one thing that you're talking about. And how do they find you? How many storyboard people are there?
Well, let's see. There's a union.
Okay. Oh, there is.
There is a union.
This is so new to me. I mean, I know about storyboards.
And it's a small union.
Yeah.
You know, it's a small union. Last time I checked, there were less than 200 people who are active. There are also agencies. And the agencies work with the studios and work with the advertising agencies and send people out. For a while, I was with one of the agencies.
Oh, I see.
So, but mostly it's word of mouth. You work with this person, you work with that person. The book From Word to Image, although written primarily for writer-directors to give them visualization skills, also has a section on getting a gig. And so there's also for people who are artists, people who are designers who have these illustration skills and might want to move over into the entertainment industry. So we covered that also. And then I talk about unions and agents and all that.
It's like a textbook in a way. When I started reading it, it felt like a textbook. It was very personal. It talked about when you did this and when you did that. Do you have certain directors that you like to work with, or do you like someone to give you free rein? What do you?
Well, I'd say my style is that, as you might be able to tell us, I like to talk. And that's one reason I've ended up doing so much teaching, I think. And I really enjoyed working. I worked with a director named Bill Condon, who went on, whose most recent work was Gods and Monsters. And I worked with him on the first feature that he wrote and directed. And it was wonderful. It was a wonderful experience because he was a director who was extremely visual, open to suggestion, and was willing to spend the time to really talk about style and talk about substance. And that was just one of the kind of the heights of my experience.
And do they lean on you to come up with ideas?
I wouldn't call it lean. What would I call it? I think, as I said, there are some directors who just want you to take dictation, and so I'm not so good in that, because I do like to give suggestions. And so you look for a good fit between someone who has the same style as you do. But I find it more interesting to be able to give suggestions.
My director's leaning on me, so we have to say goodbye.
Oh, okay.
But thank you so much for being here, and I love this From Word to Image. It teaches you so many other things besides just knowing how to storyboard.
Thank you.
Thanks, Marcie Begleiter, for being with us, and thank you all for being at the Joan Quinn Profiles today, and keep writing to 777 South Figueroa, 44th floor, 917. We'll see you next time on the Joan Quinn Profiles.